Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Crypto Circle. I'm over here on TradingView and I'm checking out the chart for the total cryptocurrency market. So we're doing a little bounce here. It's definitely getting interesting, right? So I'm checking on this, trying to see if we can establish some type of trend here. It's it's looking like it could do something. It could keep pushing. We had a little pullback right here. I have more drawn out on the DeFi perp side of things. I found this a few months ago, and it was actually very useful if you're into more of the wallet side. If you watched the last video, I showed you how to get money into DeFi, off of like an exchange like Coinbase. So if you watch that, you'll know what I'm talking about. But basically, DeFi perp, if you never knew what this was before, you'd probably be confused because why is it 6,644? Well, all that is a bunch of different coins all grouped together. It's just an index of basically the top DeFi coins. So decentralized finance, the top coins are kind of put together and all averaged out here. So what do they have? Aave, Balancer, Band, Solana, all these cream. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of different things. Curve, Polkadot, Link, really big coins. And they're all put together in this index. So this is really good at judging the DeFi market side. So you have normal market, the entire market. This is everything including Bitcoin. Now this is really accurate of how everything is doing. And if you're looking more to track like altcoins and things like that, I would suggest the DeFi perp, especially if you're tracking an altcoin that's in the decentralized finance area, not like an NFT or anything like that. But if it is in this decentralized finance, it's very useful. And I'm going to zoom out here really quick for you guys. So I took some numbers down and tried to decide some type of trend, because we had this big drop here from, what is it? Looks like the 6th. Is it? Yeah, 6th of July, all the way down to here. So basically, I have these points mapped out. So the first rise to 8,513. I chose this because it's the top here. It's where we hit here before, and it was an important point down later on the chart if you scrolled back. Now, I did some numbers, and I found that the last time we hit this 8,513 point, it took 5 days to do it. So it was from January 31st, it was at 6,800, and it hit 8,500 about in 5 days. Now, this is the height of the bull run, so I don't expect this type of trajectory. I mean, if you're really bullish, this thing will go almost straight up. But if not, this is probably more accurate, I would say, around, reasonable estimate. And to reach this, it's also the same time. So this is, 5 days out. Like before, it took 5 days for it to go from 6,800 to 8,500. Same thing here. If it happened within the next 5 days, this is what the chart would follow, kind of around this pattern. Not perfectly matching it, but close to it. Now over here is if the market gained at the same rate as it dipped on July 6th. So on July 6th, it hit right here, that 8,500 point, after trying to pull back after the big beginning drop. The first one, everyone was like, the biggest drop. And then it kind of came back up. It had resistance here, and it got shot back down. So this line is just if this reverse head and shoulders were to go at the same rate that this happened, where it dropped this much. Because it was July 6th, and I have it's crashed until July 20th. Yeah, right about here. Yeah. So a few days ago. And it bottomed out around, what is this, 5,000, what is it, 350? Yeah, somewhere in here. So it bottomed out down here, right? If it followed the same path, so that's 14 days. So it would take 2 weeks from here to get all the way back to, where it fell from, this peak. This is what I'm hoping the graph looks like. That means it fell and it rose. We didn't lose that much in the space itself. So this would be a bullish indication for, crypto, at least the DeFi side. I'm really interested in DeFi. It's really useful tools and whatnot on that side of the crypto stuff. But if I'm looking to buy, where would it be, right? Since I made this line, it would most likely be on this line. Somewhere in here, as long as I'm below this, I'm still buying at a good rate. So if the market, let's say bad scenario, it went and it hit to here, a good indication that this trend line that I drew here is correct is right when this crashes and meets the trend line, it'll bounce. And then it'll hit the line here and it'll bounce. And it kind of does this hop all the way to the top. It's not perfect, but it'll do some type of, hitting a point of support and bouncing back up. Because obviously here we do have support. People thought it was a little outrageous that, I guess, these coins that are in this bunch were valued this low, around that 5,300. Remember, that's the average. This number over here is the average of that index of the top DeFi coins, if that makes sense. And yeah, so if this line would maintain, I would be happy. And I was also looking at the moving averages. I think they're really important to do if you're doing any type of chart, analysis, because it tells you the trend. Now back here, you could see this pink line, or purple line, my bad, kind of gets hit at the peak. So all the highs, see how it's coming up here, hitting it, this little purple line. Every time it's hitting that, it's getting pushed right back down. So the trend is bearish because it's hitting its 20-day moving average and getting pushed down. So its average, price movement over the last 20 days, it's below that. So it's doing worse than the average 20 days. And then you have shifts like this where you see right when it comes up here and it meets, it jumps over the purple line, right? Now you're looking for a long-term trend of this. This helps, this little jump here, but not too much because we just saw all this down pressure. It would make sense for it to have a little jump, to push up in price. But if you keep following, you see it goes back into the bearish area, getting beat down, kind of getting a leg up, same thing, beat down. But then over here where we started, now this is now at the bottom. So this is the lowest it's been. This is the lowest low. It's starting to ride the opposite way, right? So you see this breaks below it, the 20-day moving average, and then starts pushing up. So over here, we're actually riding pretty high above it. We're hitting more of this 200-day average for a second there, And it keeps bouncing. So we're going strong on the trend here. It broke trend a little bit at this point, and it dipped below it right here. It kind of had a little problems on it. It's a little hard to see because the line, I think I made it transparent. Probably can make it just solid. But it comes through, hits that line right in here around that area, and bounces below. So this is where you kind of start predicting, if it keeps that trend, which I'm hoping it does, and stays above this line, I would be happy buying, in this area. So if right now, it was at 6,070, I would be perfectly fine buying some coins that I'm looking to get in my bag at this area, because I know it's keeping that trend going up. But yeah, that's a little information on the market and what it's doing. It's nice to see that we have a leg up this time and it's not being so stagnant. Now, why? That was what I was also trying to get into. Now, why is this happening? Why is it now moving? And I think it's just because all the actions of the companies and, actually joining crypto, like Amazon, Google, Facebook did something I saw on the news there, trying to join in. I think they're making their own coin. At that same time that's happening, regulators are fighting against it. So you have this bullish news and bearish news. So all it comes down to is which one outweighs the other one, right? Is it more bullish or more bearish? So I think now we're aiming towards the bullish side, especially with Amazon. That's a big deal. Amazon's a massive company. Coming into crypto is amazing. And all the regulation with the stable coins have been hurting us. So you kind of see what people and investors are thinking. Is it more balanced where it's stagnant, and we're slowly doing a downtrend, or just staying straight across, it's not moving a lot? Or are we moving in a certain direction. Now we're starting to go up, and I think that's for obvious reasons, like Amazon's payment acceptance and experience team is hiring digital currency and blockchain expert to develop the company's digital currency, blockchain strategy, and product roadmap. This is showing that the big companies are dipping their toes into blockchain and crypto. It's really important in the long run, especially for people who love cryptocurrency, to get these big players in because it keeps it solid. The regulations will keep coming, but I think it'd be a little less hesitant to regulate something that Amazon's in or something that Google's in. That to affect these big companies drastically if they've invested a lot, if Amazon's invested a lot into one side of DeFi, let's say, and regulation comes to hit it, and Amazon could lose $1 billion, I'm sure Amazon's gonna have something to say, right? In that circumstance. So this is all good news, and I have it over here, currency product lead. You can apply on Amazon if anyone's looking to do that. But this is what I was saying before. At the same time as all that bullish news, we also have bears. So over here, iOS removed Trust Wallet, at least the browser portion, so you can't use the browser. If you know anything about the wallet, I use MetaMask mostly. I do have Trust Wallet for my Binance side of exchanging coins. You can actually go on to like Safari. I think they use Safari on there and search up right off of the app, which is really great because if you're looking for Pancake Swap on Trust Wallet, you could search it up and it's right there. And then you could back out and you're still in the Trust Wallet. You don't have to hop apps, and go over to Safari for yourself. It's just all in there. And it's cool because you could bookmark in it. So this is kind of hurting Trust Wallet. I mean, I'm thinking about maybe just using the Binance MetaMask, side of things. I just like the Trust Wallet because it was keeping it less complicated, I guess. It just kept everything more organized for me to have a new wallet for Binance, then have to figure out, okay, how will I get this here and how am I going to do this or figure out how to bridge the asset. Obviously, there's strategies to get, money anywhere in this space. You can get money on Binance, money on Harmony, any network you need. It just depends on how much harder it is time-wise and money-wise. The harder it is money-wise, the more fees you have to eat up to get those funds to the other network. But that's my reason for why this kind of sucks, because Trust Wallet was my go-to for just, Pancake Swap and the side chain stuff over on Binance, especially for getting all the crap coins too, or the shit coins. It was really easy to do it on the phone. If you're out and about, you don't want to leave. If you're anything like me, I'm not going to leave my, coins in there. If you got a baby sheep or whatever, baby Doge, I wouldn't leave it in there long. I want to get in, get out, try to get some money quick because it still moves a little bit. So I'll take 10, 20, 30% gains if I'm just playing small numbers. But this all came down to, I read it, it was just iOS, their Apple's regulation on their app store. They just don't want the browser to be on there. That's basically the big problem with it. I think they're going to keep the Trust Wallet. It's just the browser aspect of it. Another thing over here I saw, more bearish news, which actually stirred up a good amount of arguments and whatnot on Reddit. I saw it there. Uniswap drops tokenized stocks as regulators close in. So we have tokenized stocks like Mirror Protocol has Mirror Apple and Synthetics. Synthetics has synthetic shares of companies, so they're just pegged to whatever company it is. If it's Apple and it's a $200 share, then the coin might be, A blank. It just represents an Apple share. So they started restricting access to a small number of tokens, and they're saying everything is still decentralized, basically, by saying this. Now, the only problem... Oh, did not mean to do that. The only problem with that is it's showing that regulation is pushing us, and we're having problems, holding our own, as in not letting them change the space as much as we want it changed, because that was a big aspect for me. It's nice to have tokenized stocks in there, especially if you know how to do the Terra Luna system on Anchor with Mirror. those are really good strategies where you get free anchor almost, and you could buy a stock with it. You could buy Apple. And people like to buy Apple and just hold that in their portfolio, at least in the stock market, because it kind of does what the S&P 500 does, and better. It holds a lot of value. It's a $2-3 trillion company now. It's not going to fall off, so it's a safe bet. So in a space where stuff doesn't get so safe sometimes, especially if you don't know what you're doing, it's nice to have another option that you could opt into. I want to just do stocks on crypto. I just prefer it because it's open maybe longer than the stock market, or easier for me to control all my money on the wallet. All those types of reasons. But yeah, that's going to conclude just this little portion. This is just a quick video going over what's going on. But in total, I think we're going to end up being more bullish. I've been seeing Amazon's information. That's just massive in the first place because Amazon's so large. But the big problem is the stablecoin stuff and all these little tweaks that the regulation is doing to us. We'd be better off if it all just came, honestly. If it all just came and they said, you can only do this, I'd be happy with it, because we wouldn't have all this weird market sediment where people like right here are like, I don't know if the market's going to go down to here or if it's going to fall this and go up, because it's more of some people are more of thinking like, what happens if this gets fully regulated and I can't use this? Why would I hold it? And I get it. I mean, I've thought about that. What if DeFi sees so much regulation that it's just not as worth it anymore? Because it's very worth it now, especially with staking. If that happened, you'd have to reevaluate your portfolio and make choices accordingly. But yeah, hoping it stays in this trend. I'll post some updates on Instagram probably. While you're here, you should go over there and follow it. Link's going to be in the description, just like my Discord. Link's down there. Want to get a community going, so hop in there if you like crypto. You want to talk to me. We can go over any strategies you saw, or any information you have even. But yeah, other than that, leave a like. I'd really appreciate it, and subscribe. And have a good rest of the weekend, you guys. I'll catch you next time.